Welcome to Two Footed, a show about the lunacy of football. We're here to bring you the proper stories, the important stories, the is that even a story stories. We're back to reflect on the season so far, and thanks to the magic of human weariness and a growing disinterest in a once-in-a-generation global pandemic, so are the fans. There's nothing more heartwarming than watching a 20% capacity crowd get scanned and rescanned ineffectually for their temperature like a faded reduced price sticker in order to sit in the freezing December temperatures and watch their team suffer another humiliating defeat. With fans coming back, we did have some booing of the taking a knee protest, which players have been performing before the start of every match in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. And a government minister came out after the fact and ascribed a very nuanced position to why the fans were booing, other than the simple explanation of racism.
My personal view is that Black Lives Matter, capital B, L and M, is actually a political movement.
Of course, we all know that whenever a fan chants or does something in a stadium, there's always a very well thought out and considered opinion behind that action. Just like when some fans call an opposition manager a paedophile. It's not simply an insult, it's their reflection on the child protection policies in this country and should obviously be respected.
Now, I'm more of a rugby man, so I didn't actually see the football myself. But it seems very clear that the fans who were cheering that the referee was a wanker were not actually participating in a childish insult, but rather were making a claim that if a person participates in masturbation or self-love or ripping a wicked solo on the skin flute, it can lead to that person having negative impacts on their vision or the loss of sight altogether. And that's science.
A big story since the start of the season has been Jurgen Klopp, who since he won the league with Liverpool has gone from a kind of fun uncle figure to this weird and bizarre, intense prophet.
You picked the 12:30 kickoff. You. Not you personally, but you did it. Did you?
Whose every utterance and outburst is worthy of examination and further discussion. This was really highlighted when the new FIFA game made a big deal out of the fact that there were little graphics at the end of the games of him celebrating like he was some little digital Jesus that we all had to worship because he wears nice glasses and wears a funny hat. He's been talking about the season and how it's affecting player injuries and the fact that some of his players aren't always available for every match. And he's blamed that on the following.
The broadcaster Sky, the broadcaster BT Sport, the Premier League, the BT Sport pitchside reporter Des Kelly, club executive, Sheffield manager Chris Wilder, other managers, the schedule, the time 12:30, workload, 3 subs, Gunnosaurus, the concept of time, Chris Wilder again, and muscles, human muscles.
Seems fair enough. One thing that he strangely hasn't blamed for the lack of availability of his players is the behaviour of those players themselves. He's really weirdly steered clear of talking about the fact that Mo Salah missed a game and played reduced minutes in the next two, a stretch that saw 2 key players get muscle injuries because he went to a 500-person wedding in his native Egypt and didn't wear a mask for the whole thing. If someone was like, what's the best party you can ever imagine? Mo Salah's brother's wedding, immediately.
Would he have had a conversation before he went, being like, I'm just going to nip out for a couple of days? Like, are you going to the wedding?
Am I
no.
Am I what? Aston Villa player Trezeguet, Egyptian footballer, was also there. No one gave a fuck. No one cared.
Mo Salah's brother thought, or he was ahead on all this. He thought, listen, this is brilliant. There's a pandemic. People can't travel. My brother, he works in Liverpool. No one can blame me for not having him there.
Just like the very understated. What does your brother do? He works in Liverpool, yeah.
If I clicked on a BT Sport YouTube video and it was Jurgen Klopp saying, Mo Salah's brother is the reason we drew with Brighton, would be amazing.
I cannot ask Mo's brother not to be in love. How can I do this? He has a beautiful wife. They have to have this wedding and it's very joyous. What do you want me to do? That's a bit Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a bit...
Mo Salah's brother had decided his wedding based on the Premier League fixtures. He's actually just a massive Brighton fan. And he saw that they were playing a week afterwards. He thought, I'm having a wedding there. Because if the Seagulls have got any chance, it's if I take out my brother through coronavirus.
We should look into that. We might have just cracked something there. If Brighton were playing Liverpool and then Aston Villa in consecutive weeks after Mo Salah's brother's wedding.
I've actually looked at the fixture list, and if you look at who Brighton were playing, they played Aston Villa the week before.
Oh my God!
I'm not joking.
We're investigative journalists. We need to phone this in. Get FIFA on the line.
Hi, is that the football team Leicester? Right, okay. I've seen that you're playing Brighton later on in the year, and okay, you don't need to know why, but Jamie Vardy, he can't accept an invite to go paintballing in the Siberian wilderness with Mo Salah's brother. it's going to happen and he's going to have to say no.
I mean, Goal.com managed to get the big story about Mo Salah's brother's wedding when they interviewed the mayor of Mo Salah's hometown, which is nowhere near where the wedding took place and it's got nothing to do with it. But the mayor took the call for some reason and gave them a long interview. It does not make sense to hug someone 5 times in the same wedding. You've clearly never been to Mo Salah's brother's wedding, you idiot. Of course it does. I'd be hugging him left and right. I'd be coming around. That would be the buffet for me. I'm going to go and have another hug with Mo.